I'd like to now request Dr. Ajith Pasqual to make his presentation.
Good evening to everybody. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the IESA for giving me the opportunity to talk about the SDM initiatives in Sri Lanka and also expanding the scope of IESA to the Indian subcontinent. And so basically our objective, our vision actually is to drive the SDM industry to a $5 billion industry by 2025. So just to give us a few small background, like population we have is 22 million, probably less than some of the states in India. And electronic graduates, 500 plus per year. And the current SDM is dominated by the electronic contract manufacturing and also component manufacturing. And for some of the components, Sri Lanka actually is well known, particularly, for example, like airbag sensor. We are supplying, there's one company supplying to all the major Japanese automakers and European automakers. But it is slow growth. So we wanted to actually change this. And the design industry footprint is fairly small compared to the contract manufacturing. So our intention actually is to change this to a more design-focused industry. And with that intention, about 5 years back, we started the initiative to push government to support the electronic startups. As we all know, the electronic sector requires fairly heavy capital, even in the design industry, particularly, for example, like tools. So we proposed the government to set up an incubation center. We call it a Facilitation Center for Advanced Electronic Design. And initial funding, we received about $2 million in 2014, and subsequently top-up grants all the way up to 2018. And so this is a public-private partnership where the startups are expected to put a lot of all the expenses, human resources, other recurrent expenses, and the government or through the center will be supporting tools. So we're actually working with the main EDA partners, Synopsys and Metagraphics. And also the academic side, we work with almost like all the EDA tool vendors. So this is the $2 million startup grant that we got in 2014. And we had a very modest set of objectives. As you can see, basically creating a high value addition knowledge-based industry and capacity building, and then the export revenue source, and also you can see very modest electronic startups, 5 successful startups by 2016. And I'm happy to say that this initiative actually resulted in more than 5 startups by end of 2016. So what we do is we provide all supports that the startups require. And for example, like tools, the hardware development platforms, and 3D printing services, every service that a typical startup requires actually is given by this incubation center. So we have identified a few areas where we can excel based on our the expertise, particularly at the university. I just want to mention that I'm actually presenting this as a full-time academic staff member of the University of Moratuwa. I'm also having my own startup as well. So these application processors, machine vision, video processing, medical signal processing, and mobile communications are the areas that we are really focusing on IP development. And as you can see, pretty much the full breadth of the activities are supported by the startup. And recently, last year, we had actually major backing from the government, what you call National Export Strategy, identified for the first time, officially recognized the importance of the electronic sector, and with 6 identified sectors for support from the government, and electronic and electrical machinery. And as we all know, like Sri Lanka actually is not really known for electronics, but we are known for tea and cricket, and that also is going through a bad patch as such, but like we had something to cheer about a few days back. So these are, after that 3-4 years of support, these are products that actually developed by the startups, and we have a very heavy product focus rather than design services. It's like medical products, and also like Sri Lanka being known for tea, and this is a very advanced tea color sorter that we wanted to automate our tea industry to a large extent. And this again is a mobile healthcare is a huge potential in the future, and this is a FDA-certified mobile cardiac monitor. And we are also actually working on a number of other products related to the medical side as well. So these are all startups, and this is actually my own startup. We provide complete traffic visibility and the control solutions, pretty much a traffic engineering company that is targeting the telecom, enterprises, and the financial services sector. And the question actually is whether the $5 billion target actually is achievable. Is it definitely a very ambitious task, as we all know? But what we also need to keep in mind actually is it is impossible for Sri Lanka to achieve this target by focusing on design services, because we have a very limited engineer output annually. That's not going to increase radically in the next few years. So the focus should be product development, and product development for the global market. And we are particularly looking at the healthcare and the automotive, and also certain IP development as well. And so also we do support the ESDM, or basically design services. And probably, as you know, actually Colombo actually is just 2 hours from Bangalore, 1 hour flight, and probably 1 hour from here to the airport. And we do welcome the investment, and it was mentioned in the morning that the Hyderabad, the attrition rate actually is 2 to 3%. And I would like to say that electronics in Sri Lanka is almost like 0%, because the design industry, hardly the engineers actually move, because they are very specialized lot. So with that one, I would like to, I'm actually keeping with my time. Again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about the ESDM initiatives in Sri Lanka, and also thanking ISA for having this wonderful summit. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank all our 3 speakers for this session. I'd like to request Dr. Satya Gupta, IASA Executive Council and Co-founder and CEO, Senzop Technologies India, to present our 3 speakers with a small token of our appreciation. We'd like to extend our sincere thanks to Shri Siddharth Bhatia, Vice President, Invest India. Despite being on a pressing and tight schedule, we appreciate it sincerely that he could stay back for the session. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to request you to please give him a big round of applause. We'd like to extend our sincere thanks to Shri Girish R, IAS Managing Director, KITS, Government of Karnataka. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause as we thank him once again for being a part of this session. And last but not least, we'd like to extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Ajith Pasqual from Paraqum Technologies. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this session. We'd also like to thank Dr. Satya for doing the honors of giving away those mementos.